Welcome to The Coop with Kit. My name is Kit Hoover, and I have been lucky enough in my 30 years in this business to interview some of the most iconic, badass women out there. We all know that girlfriends give the best advice, and they're all coming to The Coop. We're talking career, marriage, kids, sex, aging, all of it. I truly believe we are just hitting our stride. All right, my chickens, let's get into it. All right, y'all, buckle up because you're in for a wild and hilarious ride with the one and only Leanne Morgan. Now, this Southern powerhouse has been lighting up the comedy circuit for over 25 years, and she has finally hit it big now in her 50s. Variety named her one of the top 10 comics to watch. We all loved her Netflix special, I'm Every Woman. Now she's bringing her big girl panties and that down-home relatable charm to the big stage with a new show, a new tour, and a new book. Hailing from a tiny farm town in Tennessee where she sold jewelry to other mamas, Leanne listened to that inner voice. She knew that she was destined for Hollywood, and she never gave up. When she's not on stage, she's loving life with her husband, Chuck Morgan, 3 kids, grandbabies, and of course her beagle, all in Knoxville, Tennessee. Grab your sweet tea, y'all. Here is Leanne Morgan.
Hello, my darling. Can you hear me?
Leanne, I got you. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Thanks to your baby girl.
My baby. Thank you. Oh, Lord.
Hi, Leanne.
Are we recording?
Are we recording?
You're recording.
Kit, you doll. Okay, honey, you tiny little thing. I want to say to you that you've always kept your weight down. And I look at you and I think, why didn't I do that?
Wait, Leanne, the best is I've been such a fan of yours for a gazillion years, which I think with pride when I say gazillions for you and me in this business. But let's tell everybody how we met, because when I was DMing you, I forgot about Mom Logic, the pilot that we did. Who was in it with us?
It was crazy. Okay, do you remember it was Melissa Etheridge's first wife?
Yes.
You remember her?
I forgot about that. Yes. And I just had her on the podcast, Melissa, and I forgot to tell her. Okay.
All right. And then Sandra Bernhard.
Sandra Bernhard. Yes.
And Judy Gold, the comedian Judy Gold. And then Kate Gosselin. You remember Kate Gosselin?
And then Paula Deen.
Little Paula Deen. And that's how even I got in, because I used to open for Paula Deen. And I think really and truly, Kit, all of y'all were big time, and I was like a little courtesy. Honest to goodness, I think they were like, let Leanne ride in the car. I got to audition with you. I was out there, and they asked us about Miley Cyrus stripping on a pole on Nick at Night, and we all had to say our opinion.
Well, you know what I remember is loving you immediately. I was just glad to be in the car. But what I remember was you and I hit it off completely. There's a bunch of us that we all gathered in one of our dressing rooms. And it was kind of going to be sort of The View, but with all moms and all different point of views. Well, let's get back to you, my love. Kicking ass and taking names, Leanne.
Thank you, my darling.
We start all the podcasts with one word, Leanne, to describe where you are in your life right now.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, let me think. Crazy. I'm going to say crazy in a wonderful way. Crazy, like, what in the world? This is crazy.
I feel like women, especially in their 50s, are really coming into their own and hitting their stride, which wasn't the case when we started out, Leanne. And look where you are right now. Let's tell all of our listeners everything that you've got cooking that's hitting right now at age, are you 58?
I'm 58. I'll be 59 in October.
Booyah! And let's talk about the Chuck Lorre Netflix show. Chuck Lorre, everybody. This is 2.5 Men. This is the greatest TV creator-producer of all time. Your book comes out in a month. What do you make of all this, Leanne? Why now?
Oh, my gosh, my darling. I don't know, because I've been doing comedy for over 25 years.
Yep.
And there were years nobody cared. And I always joke and say I couldn't get arrested. But nobody cared. And I just kept on going. I felt in my gut. I just had to keep going. And then it hit in my early 50s. I was just about to quit. I was feeling really down, and I thought nothing's going to happen, and maybe this is a sign I'm supposed to stop. I went to dinner with my husband and I cried and I said, I don't think anything's going to happen, but I want to do something. I'll open a hardware store and I'll get a big cheese wheel and I'll get rocking chairs and I can sell canning products. And he said, you've lost your mind. And then I took a chance on myself. I had never spent a lot of money on my website and all that. I'd just gotten by and I had a few headshots and I thought, okay. I was watching Jim Gaffigan, Nate Bargatze, all these people that I love. And I was seeing that they had social media people. And I thought, I've got to get social media people. And my manager at the time said, I don't know. I don't think you can afford it. And I just did it anyway. And I invested that money in myself. And the first video they put out was about me taking my husband, Chuck Morgan, to go see Def Leppard and Journey. And everybody looked sick and had plantar fasciitis. And everybody was trying to get out the door so they could be in the bed by 10 o'clock. And honest to goodness, Kit, I had done that one time on stage and happened to catch it on film. It really wasn't even in my act. And let me tell you this, it'll put chills up your spine. They put that out on the day that my last baby, we moved her into an apartment in Brooklyn, New York for her to go to school. And that's when it hit. After all these years of raising these children,
Yep.
I feel like that was a sign from above. Like, okay, you got them raised, girl, let's go.
Empty nest. I have chills. I want to talk about this because I know a lot of women have that thought. I know I certainly have. I was like, okay, you know what? It's been a decent run. It's time for my next thing, but I never give up. So how close did you get? And what were you saying to yourself and what pulled you out of that?
For years, like I would have ups and downs, but I was living in Knoxville, Tennessee, raising these children. And that was the most important thing to me. But I would get a deal with ABC and Warner Brothers for a sitcom. And then I'd get another one with Nick at Night or TV Land. And I would think, oh, this is going to be my big thing. And then they wouldn't make it.
Yep.
Something in my gut would say, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I just felt desperate. I was working a lot, but it wasn't the kind of work I wanted. And I was in this grind and I was having to fly somewhere and then get an Uber with somebody high on marijuana that drove me for 2 hours and I was scared to death. That's why I thought I can't keep doing this. If it's this grind, it's not a lot of money. And I also had a child get married and I knew I was going to be a grandmama. And I just thought, you know what, maybe I should give this up. I just made that decision. I'm going to do it. By darn, I'm going to give them 3 months. And if something doesn't happen, I'll know that that's what I'm supposed to stop. See, I'm from the country. When we have grandbabies, we start cooking pinto beans and wearing a house dress. And I thought, but I've always liked to make my own money. So I thought I'll have a hardware store. I'll be grandmama. I'll tend to these grandbabies. And then it boomed.
I'm telling you, you're so relatable on so many fronts. And this is one that I love. Okay. So you put out the video. When did you know that it had hit? And what happened next?
Okay. I'm telling you, those boys, and I call them boys, they're the age of my children. I could have birthed all of them, and I love them. They're two young guys from Plano, Texas. They put that out, and we were in a tiny hotel room in New York, and Chuck Morgan was saying, the Uber's here. And I looked at my phone, and it was being shared thousands of times, and I felt an electricity go through my body. I knew it. I thought, something is happening. And I texted those boys and they said, we've never seen anything like it, Leanne. It's being shared thousands of times. Nothing like that had ever happened to me. And I felt a wave go through my body. And I said to my family, something's happening with this Def Leppard video. And Chuck goes, the Uber's here. Everybody grab 2 suitcases and get down to the elevator. Nobody was listening to me. But I knew it. And I'm telling you, I started selling out all over the United States within days. And those were clubs that were sweet to me, but they were like, she can't sell tickets. She doesn't get drunk and fight in the parking lot. And we love her, but we're not having her back. People saw that video and started looking for all my other content and started calling comedy clubs all over the United States asking for me.
So what a beautiful moment for you. How did you get into comedy to begin with? Because it is not for the faint of heart, Leanne. And now a word from our sponsors. Have you heard of Olakai? When I kick off my ridiculous high heels for Access Hollywood, Olakai is my go-to footwear. I found them when I was searching for the best flip-flop that also gives me the greatest support for my high arches, which has been impossible for me to find until now. Olakai is a super cool brand known for their anywhere aloha spirit and Hawaiian roots. They make shoes for every type of occasion, and now this includes the most comfortable and stylish pickleball and golf shoes. Hello! My favorite part is that the heels naturally go down to make every one of their shoes a slide. How genius is that? I promise you will love anything you get from them. And for Coop listeners, free shipping on any order at olakai.com. That's OLUKAI.com. Use code COOP and get your Olakais delivered ASAP to enjoy the summer. Mahalo. Coop Chicks, I am so fired up. I have discovered the most fabulous new female-owned botanical skincare line out of Nashville, Tennessee called Imogene & Co. for company. Using skincare products from natural ingredients is more important to me than ever. And Dr. Allison Brennan, the founder of Imogene & Co., is a trained pharmacist and has formulated products that I have never experienced before. They smell amazing, and her products cleanse, nourish, and hydrate. I seriously have noticed an incredible difference in my skin since using Imogene & Co. I am currently obsessed with their Glow Vitamin C Serum. This is the most potent and natural vitamin C serum I've ever used. It helps build collagen and bye-bye crow's feet. Equally, I really love their Revitalize face oil. I slather it on to start and to end my day. Give Imogene & Co. a try. Go to imogeneandco.com. That's EMOGENEAND co.com and use Coop 20 for 20% off. Ladies, are you like me and have looked everywhere to find your favorite white tee and tank? Well, look no further. I have found them at Aaron Gray. This will be your new go-to favorite white t-shirt brand. Custom designed in my hometown of ATL, Atlanta, and made of pure Pima cotton from Peru. You will never take it off. This pre-wash and pre-shrunk material is exclusive only to Aaron Gray and no annoying tags. How great is that? I am so happy and I feel so good every time I put these on. I have finally found my go-to tee. Aaron Gray is 100% women-owned and operated and gives 10% of profits back to cancer research every year. Go to aarongraydesign.com. That's ERINGRAY design.com. Use code COOP20 for 20% off. And now, back to the coop.
No, it is not. And I had always wanted to go to Hollywood from the time I was a little bitty girl. I felt in my heart, God put it in my heart, and imagination. I was from the country, a town of 500 people, and I wanted to get married and have babies. I graduated with my degree. Let me tell you, through the skin of my teeth, honey, I'll never let anybody know my GPA. And then I married Chuck Morgan, who is overachiever. He had bought a business up in Bean Station, Tennessee, that's in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. He was 27 years old. And I moved up there and I had my first baby, Charlie, and I wanted to breastfeed and stay home. And I promised Chuck, I promise I won't get my hair highlighted and I won't put anything on the wall. A girlfriend of mine called me and said, I'm selling this jewelry like Mary Kay or Tupperware, and you could meet people, because I was so isolated up there. You can meet people, you can make a little money, and Chuck can tend to the baby at night while you're having these jewelry parties.
So how old are you? Is this right out of college?
Well, honey, when you'll read my book, What in the World, that's coming out in September, you will know that I made a lot of stupid mistakes in the 80s. And
we would have been best friends.
Oh, my darling. I would have ruined your college education. You would have never graduated. We would have had a ball and not done a thing. But anyway, I had dropped out and went back to school, so I was older when I graduated. Chuck and I were 27 years old, and he bought a business. we got married. I had my first baby, and I started selling that jewelry in women's houses. We'd put this jewelry out. I'd eat dip or a brownie with somebody. And then I was supposed to be talking about how jewelry, a clip earring can change the look of a pump. And instead, I was talking about breastfeeding and hemorrhoids and how their daddy didn't hear him crying in the night and I wanted him dead and all that. And women thought I was funny and started booking a year in advance for me. A year in advance. And I remember, this is how arrogant I was. I got so arrogant in the jewelry world. Let me tell you, I would say to those women, you either book a party with me now or see me in Las Vegas later.
Manifestation.
Yeah. I was manifesting and I saw all of it. And I knew, even though I was in Appalachia, I knew I wanted to have a bunch of babies. I still knew someday, oh, I'm going to Hollywood and I'm going to be in entertainment. I don't know how, but that's okay. I'll get there somehow. And I look back on that, and that was my own little comedy club in front of my demographic every night.
Yes.
And I developed an act. And then we sold that business, moved to San Antonio, Texas, and I started working clubs in Austin and in San Antonio, and then really called myself a professional comedian. And I was really, but let me tell you, Kent, I was in a kitten heel, a capri with birds on them, a really bad bob, And I was talking about somebody doo-dooed on the T-ball field or, something like that.
The McDonald's ball pit. Oh, yeah.
Yes, the McDonald's ball pit. And then I was talking to a crowd at midnight that was high on marijuana and drunk. And so there for a long time in my career, Comedy Central was big. And that was not my demographic. They wouldn't have anything to do with me. I wasn't one of the cool kids, but I kept going. I just knew, I thought, I'm unique. Okay. I'm not doing Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations like all these boys are.
Yep.
But I'm unique. And I know there's people out there that are mamas that have breastfed, that somebody's doo-dooed in the grocery store. I know I've got an audience. I just didn't know how to find them.
We're kind of similar, Leanne, in our career. Authenticity is king for you and me, right? We can only be who we are, which is why we got put together 35 years ago on Mob Logic. And I grew up in Atlanta, but I knew I was going to be in Hollywood. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, Leanne, but I thought something. And it's just been a slow build. And then I got this job at Access Hollywood at 40, and I'm now 54. Because what I love to do is highlight awesome women kicking ass. And I love talking to people. So it's funny how, I don't know, we're very intertwined in that way, just not giving up. Like we're just keep cranking along. Paddle that boat, Leanne, right?
I do pat myself on the back. I think, I persevered through a lot of no's and you're not the right thing. And, nobody cares. And I always felt like I wasn't one of the cool kids. And
which, by the way, that makes us cool because I've always thought the same. I think wait, what is the show that Chuck Lorre's creating for you on Netflix? I just want to say to all of our listeners, this is a massive, massive deal for Netflix. This is different than everything else that's come your way, Leanne. This is going to be huge. You are in the best hands. Share with us all.
Thank you, my darling. I know I feel very blessed. It's going to be called Leanne. And it's not based on my real life, but it's based on my comedy. And in my Netflix special, I'm Every Woman, I talk about my good friend, Sally, who was going through a divorce at 55. And I said, are you going to have to make out around somebody's CPAP machine? And then one of our friends, we were talking about, Lord, Sally's got to get out here and date. And she said, if I had to date, I think I could show somebody my left breast. So Chuck Lorre grabbed that and said, okay, Leanne, I know you've been married 30-something years and you're with Chuck Morgan, but what if we have you with 2 children and you got a grandbaby, you're in your 50s, and all of a sudden he leaves you he has found somebody, but he's not going to be a mean person. He's just like had this bad judgment this one time. Because he's still in love with me, I think. I think he's going to still be in love with me and still come and clean out my gutters. But I find myself in my 50s going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? And how do I navigate through this? And I've got a sister played by Kristen Johnson who's going to be unhinged.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know.
This is unbelievable. Wait, have we already started shooting, Leanne?
No, we're about to start.
Oh, so are you
We're
going to be
about
out
to
here in
start.
California?
Yes.
Oh, I'm having you over. You're coming to stay with me whenever you want. I'm going to make you some homemade Southern food. I'll make you my birth and death casserole. I got you covered.
Okay.
So you're going to start shooting that when?
At the beginning of October.
Shit, that's like now. Okay, wait. The book, is it your life, your trajectory of all of this?
It is. It is my story, and I hope they think it's funny, and I hope that they are inspired by the fact that it's never too late. I think I named it What in the World because every day I go, what in the world? All these things that are coming to me at 58,
I
which
love
I,
it.
I thought I was going to hit it when I was younger and thinner.
Yep.
But I look at all of it and it's such a better plan than I ever had because I got my children raised. And I did a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell that will be out January the 30th called You're Cordially Invited. And I play Reese Witherspoon's big sister, Gwyneth.
Booyah.
And every day, little Reese Witherspoon would stand next to me and say, Leanne, you got to raise your children. Think
Yep.
about how wonderful you got to have both worlds. And I did.
Yep.
And I just think a lot of women think, oh my gosh, after 40, nobody's going to want me. After 35, nobody's going to care, or I feel invisible. And I just think we're at our best.
We're at our
right
best.
now.
Haven't even hit our stride, Leanne. That's what the Coop with Kid is. That's why I started this. I truly believe that with every part of my being. I really do.
I do
Look
too.
at you.
I do
How
too.
was Will Ferrell? You know, he's my favorite.
Oh my gosh, darling and precious and so funny. And he would walk in a room, we would all lose our minds. He was so funny, he didn't even have to say anything. And you could tell that he wanted to see me win. And then little Reese Witherspoon has been like, I'm not kidding, my little cheerleader. Dolly Parton one time said she had a little angel on her shoulder that takes care of her, and she doesn't eat but half of her plate so she can feed that little angel. And I told Reese Witherspoon, you're my little angel, but I eat all the food. Because she's so tiny, but she just believed in me, started following me. We had met years ago. Then she started following me during the COVID. And that little thing wanted me to play her big sister and got me a table read. And I didn't even know what a table read was.
She's such a promoter of women. I love hearing that story, Leanne.
I know she said, you deserve this, Leanne. And then, I've been on tour. The first tour was called the Big Panty Tour.
That we got to talk about.
Big panties. I felt like that hour that I did for Netflix, the I'm Every Woman, that was the Big Panty Tour. And people say, why did you name it that? And I felt like I was just always talking about my panties. And I just love a good big pair of panties.
Well, we must discuss because everybody makes fun of me at work. See, I love the granny panty. Now, I like the cotton brief. I'm a low rise. I know you like the granny panty that comes up. You like the bikini high up on the hip. I like a low cotton brief if it's white and it just feels so good. And it's real thick on the side. It just feels
well, that's
so
a good one too. That's a good one too. But I just up a little on the thigh to make me feel thinner. Make me feel like I've got a long leg still.
You do.
I'm pretty tall,
How tall are you, Leanne?
Well, now I feel like I'm shrinking. I'm probably about 5'7", 5'8". But I mean, I feel like a giant. Every time I'm around people, they come up under my armpit. But I know there's a lot taller girls out there.
I'm 5 feet. I guarantee you, if we'd been in college together, I love when you do the 80s. Tell me about the 80s. Oh, yeah. I would have been on your shoulders, on your back. We would have been last man leading the way. With our dance moves, Leanne, there's no stopping us. No.
We would have been clubbing.
We would have been clubbing.
Everybody was clubbing and to Prince and the Rhythmics, even though you're a little bit younger than me. But
I'm right there with you.
And throughout this book, when I did the audio, I read it and I thought, man, I was stupid. And I thought, I did some stupid mess. But I smoked cigarettes behind dumpsters. I dated people you would not wipe your feet on. I did not do well in school. I barely paid attention. And I had such good teachers. And I just, would try to flirt with some boy to get his notes. I was failing statistics. I wasn't failing it, but it wasn't going well. And that little man was from a foreign country and had a glass eye. And I tormented him and tried to flirt with him and try to figure out which eye worked. And he was like, leave me alone. I mean, I was pitiful. Pitiful.
Listen, we can't be great at everything, Leanne.
Yes.
God is fair. You gotta spread that out. What was little Leanne like? I love when you talk about your cute mom, Lucille. Tell me about when she used to hold you home from school to watch Hollywood Squares.
Oh, honey, she would say to me, Lucille, you talking about a doll, an absolute doll, funny, dynamic. Okay. Lucille, we had a little grocery store, and my mama loved to work and loved to be with people, but she stayed home with me until I went to kindergarten. And then I went to kindergarten at 4 in the state of Tennessee. They had not changed it to 5 yet. And she knew I needed a nap. And she would say, does your stomach hurt? And I go, well, kind of. And she goes, all right, well, let's stay home, watch Hollywood Squares. She loves Saturday Night Live like me. She's got my sense of humor. We love Will Ferrell. We love Anchorman, Step Brothers. That's our jam.
You're going to guest host SNL. That's next for you.
I want to so bad.
We're putting it out, Leanne. I'm telling you, this is going to happen.
I want to, kid. And you know what? I had no idea about Second City or the Groundlings. Like, I was from a town where we grew dark fire tobacco. And, I just...
Yeah.
People didn't mean to, but they'd be like, you need to be a secretary or you need to be a teacher. And I was like, oh my gosh.
And that's if you were really pushing yourself out there. That was like the creme de la creme.
Yes. And I just didn't have I could have never gotten in a car and driven to LA at 18. I don't know how people do that. But anyway, Lucille was always like, you're going to make it. Yes, you can go to Hollywood. You've got blonde hair on your arms and you can photograph well like Marilyn Monroe. And I thought, well, okay. Well, then I can make it. I've got blonde hair on my arms. But she just always, she understood it and she got it.
Do you think you would have been as successful without your mom's belief in you?
I don't know. Because
my mom Bug is like that. She's always like, oh, honey, you with those Brooke Shields eyebrows. I'm like, that's called a unibrow in me. And I'm 5 feet.
Lucille would say to me, you're going to be a star, and push me out in front of people. Were you the prettiest one there? Everywhere I went, you were the prettiest one
there.
Yeah,
exactly. And so what do they think now, Leanne, of all your success, especially your mom? Is your dad still alive?
He is, and he just cries. He cries at the drop of a hat. He's a girl dad. Me and my sister, Sissy, both of us, Sissy, didn't learn how to mow. Pitiful. And he just says, oh my gosh, baby, you just bring joy to people, and I'm just so proud of you.
You know what I was thinking when you host SNL, you're going to have to wear your clip earrings from back in the day that you sold. That clip earring and your pump will highlight the pump. We're going to have a full circle moment.
Well, I probably still got that clip earring because I can't throw anything away.
Let's talk about your cute husband, Chuck. So how many years married? Is it you're coming up on your
32. What's
the hottest thing Chuck does?
Okay, I've gone through several things that I have thought that set me on fire. And lately, and this is going to sound twisted, I don't mean for it to, but when I see him tending to those 2 grandbabies, I think that's pretty cute. And Chuck is a big man he thinks he's got a stomach. I think he's got body dysmorphia, but he's built like Superman. He's broad-shouldered with a tiny waist, and he's a tall man he has a presence, but he's very quiet, and he talks only when he's got something important to say. And then people say to me, will you talk for him? And yes, I do. I have had to talk for him. He likes to be with people. He just doesn't want to talk or thinks people are stupid.
Did he watch 2.5 Men for Chuck? Like, was he obsessed with these shows? Like, what does he think about your show, Leanne?
Yes, Big Bang Theory. He watches it all the time. He loved 2.5 Men.
All those shows.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it when they said Chuck Lorre's flying to Knoxville. Chuck Lorre came to Knoxville, came to my house, held my grandbabies.
Oh my gosh.
And he fell in love with Chuck Morgan. Chuck Morgan fell in love with him.
Did Chuck Lorre tell Chuck Morgan, your husband, that he is going to be not exactly himself on the show, that we're actually writing?
Yes, it came out in Variety magazine. It was all over social media, and little elderly people started calling my mom and daddy and saying, I'm so sorry Leanne's getting a divorce. And I said, Daddy, tell them Chuck Morgan is not leaving me. He does not have a girlfriend. So Daddy said, okay, I'm going to call Bobby Dean. I'm going to tell him. But I'm hoping that it gives women the gumption and the power to think, I am still desirable. Like if my character does start dating, if I really had to date, I mean, good Lord. But I would hope that somebody thought I was attractive. And I think women are attractive in their 50s and
Yes.
smarter than ever. And
Yes.
so I hope that that's where it goes, that I can. I mean, what if Mark Wahlberg did a cameo?
He's got to come on and see you. Yes.
And I thought, what if Mark Wahlberg? What if Patrick Dempsey? What if
Mixed
whoever,
dreamy.
Will Ferrell,
Yes.
came and wanted to date this character?
They're going to. They're going to. What do the grandbabies call you, Leanne?
Grandmama.
Grandmama.
Because grandmama, I came up with that because I wanted mama in there because I wish I was their mama. And my little daughter-in-law is so precious, and she's like another child to me, and she doesn't mind that I overstep.
Have you always been close with her, or was that hard?
It was hard at first because they got married young right out of college, and my boy is my first and my boy. And when he said, "Oh, I love her. I'm marrying her. I'm going to marry her." And I thought, what in the, and then, and I knew she was smart and she's beautiful and all that was just like, wait a minute, you're mine. You're my boy. What?
Mhm.
I don't even know what you're talking about. And then during the wedding, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so right. And honest to goodness, she's like another child to me.
What's the best advice your mom ever gave you about being a mom?
What comes to mind is like, have fun. Like when I think about my life growing up with her, we had a ball and we made,
Yeah.
like we used laughter, to get through hard times and all that. And I think comedians do that anyway. And then I've had fun with my children and they want to be with me. And I think I should have pushed them more. I was the kind of mama that I was like, let's go to the zoo and let's have Dollywood. But I probably should have pushed them more, but they're wonderful and they did well in school. But I made things fun. Like we danced a lot to Gwen Stefani. We
Yes.
had a good time.
Dance parties every night. I've got the best trick as a grandmother. So my grandmother was named Pie, and we call my mom Bug. I've got 3 kids. Like I have 2 girls and a boy at the King, and my daughters are just the greatest. And so when they were little, my mom used to take their binky or her finger and dip it into raw sugar that she'd be dumping, of course, in her sweet tea, but dip it in the sugar and then put it in the baby's mouth and say, "I'm your favorite grandmother." It's like just straight sugar. And still to this day, I mean, and she'd fill their bottles with sweet tea. I'm talking when they are like 3 months old. And I would say, "Bug." She's like, "Oh, honey, I'm just their favorite." They got to know where all that good sugar's coming from. So it's like a dog with bacon. They'll come straight to you. You got to use that trick.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to.
Leanne, okay, let's play a little game. Let's get random. Favorite curse word?
Pissed.
I thought you were going to say butthole. I love when you use the word butthole.
Oh, I love butthole. I didn't know if that was a cuss word. I love the word butthole. I think it's so funny. But when I think of like real cuss words, I used to have a podcast called Sweaty and Pissed, Menopause and More. And I felt so guilty every time I said it because my mama says that's a cuss word in the state of Tennessee.
By the way, I think it is. Okay, wait, that's really good. How you mentioned menopause. Any words of wisdom for me, Leanne? I'm right in the thick of it.
Oh, my darling.
Yes.
You're already eating right because I can tell by your little arms. If you don't eat white flour and sugar, it makes it worse. Really and truly, take care of yourself through this. You need to, and I can tell you're fit. Keep exercising, get a lot of sleep. Go talk to somebody about hormone replacement. You want to have that protective estrogen for your heart, for your brain. And I tell you who I've been in love with, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, who wrote the book, The New Menopause. Get that book.
Do you love
and
it?
read about what women's health and what they know now.
So I've been
compared
talking to
30
a
years
couple of
ago.
my friends talking about it now, and they also said that they're just doing it a lot with their husbands. It's not like the old days where they said, "I know." I said, "Well, what chapter is that?"
Are they getting those testosterone pellets? 'Cause
Yes.
I hear,
Those pellets that you put
Okay.
up your caboose. Yes.
yes, that does something, and that little husbands can't even run a Domino's pizza franchise. They're so tired.
Right.
From women doing, wanting
Yes.
to do it all the time.
Yeah. It's the pellet in the woohoo in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need progesterone, estrogen. When you start going through all that, and you'll know, you'll be sweating and you don't have to suffer. That's my main thing. You don't have to get somebody that knows what they're doing and help you through it.
I like it. It's not our grandmama's menopause.
It's
Okay.
not your grandmama's menopause.
No. How are you in a crisis?
Not good. Not good. And that's another thing about Chuck Morgan. Chuck Morgan's good in a crisis. But yeah, if there's a raccoon in the garbage can that can't get out and somebody's got to get that thing out, I just get in a ball. Or if the fire alarm's going and we don't know he's good at doing, I'm his yelling through the streets in a gown.
How's your relationship with fitness?
I love it. And I've gone through, I'm an all or nothing kind of thing. I played sports all through high school, loved it. And then
What'd you play?
I played basketball and volleyball. They made me play softball, but I went to a little bitty farming school that was 42 people I graduated with. I was a bit tall. They made me play everything. But I loved sports. I love them. So I played sports. And then when I got to the University of Tennessee, we had aerobics. And I love a good group fitness class. Love a group fitness. Had a ball. And then after I'd have a baby, I would go into my little gym and go to group fitness and hope nobody got a stomach bug in the nursery. Then Chuck Morgan would be traveling and I would be, laid up in the bed when everybody was at mom's day out because I was tired. Then I went through CrossFit. I went through a big CrossFit phase.
That's the real deal. Whoa. I was back with you on the grapevine on the step. Remember that move? That was the one.
Yeah.
Like that was warm up speed with all the women in sync. Like I could do that. CrossFit.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. And I got to tell you, when I did it, I was in my mid 40s and I swear, I think it jerked me into perimenopause and my adrenals were shot and my cortisol levels were too high. They made us do crazy mess. But I loved it. And that competitive and feeling like a bad mamma jamma.
Yes.
And then I went through perimenopause. And that's why I tell you, kid, don't do as I did, do as I say.
Okay.
I just took to the bed and watched Scandal. Every time a child went to college, I took to the bed. I shouldn't have. I should have gotten out and walked and did. But I go through like I'm all or nothing. Like I'm, okay, now I'm going to do jazzercise with all my friends. And I go 5 days a week. Well, now I'm on tour like Elvis. Really.
Yeah.
I'm on tour like Elvis. And I always pack all these fitness clothes.
No.
And I think I'm going to go to the gym. And sometimes I do. But most of the time I lay up in the bed and watch a show. And then I'm on stage. And I walk out and somebody will take a picture of me from the side and my fanny looks like you could set a cafeteria tray on it.
What was your first job, Leanne? Do you remember?
Okay, real job where I got paid and it wasn't my family's meat processing plant, which they shouldn't have paid me because I was terrible help. Waiting tables. I waited tables in college, and that's where I learned to smoke cigarettes behind a dumpster.
And I bet you were great. You probably started a little bit of your stand-up there, right? Talking to people, the banter. Yes.
I did. I dazzled. I'll tell you, kid, I dazzled.
I love the word dazzle.
Chuck Morgan, we met at a restaurant, and he would go to a table and go, "My name is Chuck. The soup is black bean, salmon's, and I would go up to a table and go, "Hello, I'm from Adams, Tennessee, home of the Bell Witch, part of Tennessee history." And finally my managers would say, "You're going to have to stop, Leanne. Just ask them, do they want tea?" Get that tea back 30 seconds after Chuck Morgan, I made better tips than he did.
I bet
but
you
he
did.
turned more tables because he was more efficient. But I dazzled.
What scares you, Leanne?
Scares me. Then I'm going to lose my driver's license. I've got a weird thing about I'm going to lose my driver's license, not be able to get on a plane and do a show and get on tour. And that is weird and pitiful, but I do. I sit and think. I sit and look at my baby child, the makeup artist, tours with me and does my hair and makeup.
I love that.
And tends to me because I no longer can use my thumbs. I'm in menopause. She's always like, "Mom, your driver's license there." And I know. I just have to make sure I got my hand on it, which is crazy. I may have to go on a medication.
For her to travel with you, how great is that, Leanne? I'm just thinking of me because my kids are now 22, 21, 17. I'm right there with you behind. It's such a cool thing, I think, when they want to spend time with you. That has to be the ultimate success right there. And now, a word from our sponsors. Hello, Coop listeners. This episode of The Coop is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy app. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. I got to tell you, there have been big moments in my life where therapy was really essential in my growth. And what's amazing about BetterHelp is that it's entirely online and designed to be convenient and flexible to suit your schedule. We've all got crazy schedules with work, kids, life, etc. Wouldn't it be amazing to get your therapy when you want it without ever leaving your house? These are licensed therapists, and all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the right therapist. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/thecoop and get on your way to being your best self. All Coop listeners will get 10% off their first month. Again, it's betterhelp.com/thecoop, betterhelp.com/thecoop, THECOOP. Here's to BetterHelp. Hey everyone, I'm a jeans girl, and if you're like me, you need to know about Blue Delta jeans. Blue Deltas are custom fit for your body type. You send in your measurements and they custom fit them to you. I've truly never had jeans that fit me this perfectly, and honestly, it's been a game changer. Their easy measurement process to get your custom fit and their unique hand-sewn jeans are the best you can get. You will not believe how great they feel. Blue Delta jeans should be your go-to. I'm completely obsessed with their incredible custom vintage jeans that come in straight and flare styles. Trust me, you will live in them. Go to bluedeltajeans.com and enter the code COOP20 for 20% off your new perfect jeans. And now, back to the coop.
Well, I hope so. Now, she's going to be my makeup artist for the series. And I could not move out to LA without her. She has got more sense than anybody I know. Now, she can be hateful. And she rolls her eyes sometimes at me. She gets tired of me. And she, when she's hormonal. But most of the time, we have a ball. And she's my baby child, though. She's very bougie. She likes bougie things.
Mm-hmm. How different with the third than the first two? Is she the one that just got away with everything? I mean, it's just a joke.
Those other ones, they've never said a cuss word in front of me, never said anything ugly. She says terrible things all the time, and we're so beat down that we just, whatever. She has done whatever she wanted to since she was 18 months old. And I tell people, she is strong personality like her daddy, and I just had to do what she said. And I hate to say that. And let me tell you that we saw her third grade teacher. She's always loved beauty and hated school, loved beauty, very bougie. She's always, ordering sunglasses online. And I saw her third grade teacher at Costco, Miss Fanning, who is from heaven. And she said, I just remember Tess had Lee press-on nails. And I would tell the little children, if Tess's nails pop off, if you find them, put them in the lost and found because Tess is going to need them. And I said, thank you so much, Miss Fanning, for caring and being sweet to her, even though she probably didn't hit a lick at a snake at a reading. She didn't care. She told them all what they were going to do. She probably put Lee press-on nails on her teachers. I don't know.
You're talking your stand-up about your first two. You had flashcards. You're volunteering in the classroom. You're in it. And with the third, you went to her third grade teacher and you just said, look, can she read? Like, that is so perfect. Like that is my family in a nutshell. Oh, this is a good one, Leanne. Mm-hmm. What's in your bedside drawer?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. I have got several lip balms. I've got some Tylenol PM in case I'm having a hard time, because when you go through perimenopause, you can't sleep. A lot of people have to get on something. So I have different kinds of melatonin. You will not believe my sleep supplements, and I try to mix them up. I've got every kind of sleep supplement online that you can buy, and it comes up on my algorithm. Like, it's always some kind of supplement about that. I've got my old wallet. I cannot let go of old wallets.
You're a
Probably
hoarder.
Old driver's license.
Oh,
it's an old wallet full of stuff that makes no sense.
When you come out to LA, are you just going to live like chic and clean because you won't bring anything out? Like, is it just going to be very clean, like a different version of you? Like, that's wild.
Honest to goodness, I'll just wear things to the set. And I thought about that because it's like when I went and shot that movie in Atlanta with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon, I just took what I needed. And it really is freeing.
It
I still
really
took a
is.
bunch of sleep supplements. I took a big gob of sleep supplements and magnesium packets that taste like syrup, and I drank those.
What does your family make fun of you about?
I get choked and cough now. And I know that, and I hate for you to tell you that, Kit, because you're young and vibrant and look at your arms and teeth. But you will get some age on you and you'll be out to eat with your family and you'll get choked for no reason. And they'll go, Mom's choked again. And I'm thinking, if I was choked on a piece of something, would y'all save me? Or y'all just going to make fun of me? They're always like, Mom's choked again. Something about a vinaigrette. I just get choked and coughed and cough, and they just go, oh my gosh, Mom.
Have you ever been rejected by a guy?
Yes. And I think they were stupid.
Heck yeah, they were. I thought they were
Yeah, they were.
No. Yeah.
But I can flirt and I can get a man. So yeah, but I have been rejected. Mm-hmm.
Did you go to your prom? What was your prom like?
I did go to my prom. My senior prom was my high school boyfriend. He was at the University of Tennessee, and I made that poor thing drive back and go to that thing. And you should see my hair.
Tell me.
And I don't think that I had mascara on. I looked so beady eyed, and I had teased my hair and rolled it in several different forms of hot rollers and sponge. And it was so high off my head, I thought I was Madonna. And I had a sequin dress on that was off one shoulder. My little daddy went and took me shopping and bought it for me and cried the whole time. And I was a foot taller than my little high school boyfriend. He was tiny. He was probably your size. And I think he was in ROTC at the time and had probably had to go act like he was fighting a war and didn't get to eat and use the bathroom in the woods. And then I made him drive 4.5 hours to come home to that pitiful prom that was a sweet country high school with Future Farmers of America. But I remember I was on the committee and we hired a band and the woman showed up in house shoes and sang. And I made him go through the whole thing. And he was tired. I remember that. But I felt glamorous. Everybody else was going for a Southern Belle hoop skirt thing.
And you had the off the shoulder.
I was off one shoulder, white sequin, hugged up against my body.
Yes. Were you voted anything in high school? Because remember, back in our day, now everybody wins everything. You can't single people out, but you could get voted something in school.
I was Miss Joe Burns High School.
Oh, silly question of me. So you had the crown possibly at the prom then. You were the Miss blah, blah, blah. I love when you do that. Give me a wild story from college that you remember the most. Is there something that really sticks out?
Oh, my Lord, there were so many. When I think about college, the stupid things I did, it was always like dating somebody that you wouldn't wipe your feet on. Okay, and this is in the book, but I dated a guy that had real long hair, and my roommate at the time looked through that peephole and said, he called me Lou, and he goes, either Lou's got a date or we're being robbed. This boy had long hair, and I look back on it, he looked like my sister. And he was an artist, and so he danced really funky and was just a little bit too artistic for me. I like a man with a 401k and ambition and a button down and knows how to do math. And this guy made his own mayonnaise from scratch. And he made his own mayonnaise for me in my kitchen, and I was not impressed by that. No. I was more, and he's like, I think I'm going to make a cheesecake with a pumpkin flavor in it. It was way before his time. And then we got in my car, because he rode a bicycle that had a sticker on that said, burn fat, not oil. And we went to a Sam's Club. I needed toilet paper. He did too. He bought this big thing of toilet paper and said, I need you to pay me for half of it. And Chuck Morgan would have never done that. Chuck Morgan would have bought my toilet paper and put it in a bathroom and on the roll.
Yeah.
And this man said to me while we were riding in my car, if we get married, I would like to stay home with the children and you be the breadwinner. And I said, it's over.
And take your mayonnaise. But thank you for playing. Fill in this blank, Leanne. aging is what?
A blessing. Aging is a blessing.
I feel
and
that.
yeah, my pelvic floor is weak. Yeah, there's things happening to me that are gross, but praise God, I'm alive and I feel good and I'm having a ball. I am having a ball and I feel like I can handle this better. Can you imagine if this had happened to me when I was in that doing all? I would have ended up in a ditch somewhere. I'm just thankful that I just think this is the best time this could have ever happened to me.
This is why you're on the Coop. This is so great. Okay, final question. And thank you so much with everything you got going on, Leanne, for taking the time to come talk to me. I really, really appreciate you. I value you. I love watching you shine and just getting started. Okay, final question.
My kid.
My sweet.
Thank you.
What makes you happy?
Kids and babies. Kids and babies. Family. I love being a mama and a grandmama, and I find most of my joy in that and doing for them.
Yeah.
If I can go to Costco, get my boy and his wife what they need for the week, that makes me happier than anything I could do. I hope I can still go to Costco. They tell me once this television show's out, I may not get to go. I may have to put on a red wig because I've got to go and be a mama. I want to still be a mama to my children and these grandbabies. I mean, it's just wait. You're going to lose your mind. Much as I love these babies and I'm in love with them, it's just a different kind of love, and it is magical. Is all is to it. I mean, I could just scream. It's so fun and wonderful.
Thank you again, Leanne. It's so good to see your face. I cannot wait to hug you. I'll have you over for a home-cooked meal. You got to live in California for a little bit. Come on.
I know.
That was always your dream.
I'm excited.
It'll feel
I'm
different.
Be there 7 months.
Perfect. No, you're going to be here for a long time because the show's going to be a huge success. So, well, thank you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, my darling.
Yes.
Mwah, mwah,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I'm going to text you.
Ooh, I can't wait for that text, Harper. Let me bring in my producer, Harper McDonald. I mean, do our cheeks hurt from laughing?
Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. She's just so funny.
And it's, besides being funny, maybe one of the funniest people that I've ever encountered, how about her story, Harper? It's why we're doing this podcast. The fact that she finally hit in her 50s and always had that inner belief of herself is what we want to highlight.
That story was incredible. The quote that she said that clearly stood out was, "It's never too late.
Never too late.
It's never too late." And all the while when she was going to quit and she wasn't going to go on anymore, but she's like, "No, I got to go get those boys to do the social media."
But think about her growing up in rural Tennessee.
Unbelievable.
Selling jewelry to the mothers, to the mamas.
Working in a meat
processing with
for
her family. I mean,
Yep.
nobody leading her to this path, and that inner belief in her is what we all have. It's to find out what it is that moves you. I just find her so inspiring. And how about that Southern charm? Is she not hysterical?
Oh, and you know what she was talking about her mom, Lucille, and her mom says she knew she was also destined for Hollywood because she had blonde hair on her arms.
That makes you
She's
glimmery.
You're gonna dazzle Hollywood with your blonde hair on your arms.
It's the best word.
The inner wisdom and drive and knowing that she was going to do something with this gift of hers. She just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And the story she talked about with Reese Witherspoon, where Reese said, "Isn't it incredible that you got to raise your babies?" And that was that chapter. Clearly doing comedy the whole way through. I mean, she would literally leave at night. So Chuck Morgan,
always the double name.
Chuck Morgan could be with the babies at night, and she would go, do her bit to high and drunk people that are not moms. And all the while, I'm just going to keep doing it.
I'm going to keep doing it.
But raised her babies, and then now at 58, it's amazing.
Wow. And has her new book. She's going on tour. Again, it's what I want the Coop to be, highlighting women really getting their sea legs as they get older.
Okay,
I just think it's fascinating.
It is. Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Hit me.
So, because you being a Southern woman, her phrase, "took to the bed."
You've never heard that?
I love this phrase. I have never heard it before. Is this clearly something you know?
Oh, honey, it is Southern. I got to take to the bed. Honey, I took to the bed. This is what I need. I can take it a step further. My best friend, Cameron Jones from 5th grade, she calls it moling. She's like, honey, I got a mole. I got a mole for the week. And you get in that bed. And when you take to the bed, Hopper.
Yeah, tell me. I need to know everything.
It can mean anything, honey. You just take to the bed. You can go with your glass of wine, your coffee, your book. It's just your private time.
I really love that. I don't think I'm doing enough of taking to the bed, and I am going to start. I might go do that after this.
Honey, take to the bed.
All
of you.
Loved that
take
phrase.
To the
I
bed.
could see it. I could feel it. I just loved that so much. That was so cute.
What about what she said about aging? I think we get so many interesting answers from these women.
We do. Again, yes, it is an absolute blessing, and we've defined that blessing every day because it's not always easy. As she shared with us,
that her pelvic floor is weak. It's my favorite.
Her pelvic floor is weak, and there's things that are happening that are gross, which is absolutely true. But all the while, it's a blessing, and it's beautiful, and but acknowledging and laughing through, yes, that your pelvic floor is weak, and yes, things are gross that you're not really planning on happening on the daily, is the thing that encapsulates who she is, because she can laugh her way through it too.
And you and I always talk on the side about all of this, especially with our children. The ability to laugh at yourself and to laugh at life is such a winning gift. It's one of my all-time favorite qualities.
It is. My stomach hurts legitimately. I loved watching you. You literally couldn't keep it together.
My cheeks are still hurting.
Yes.
Well, we hope y'all like that, everybody out there in the coop. Harper and I,
she's a dazzler.
Without a doubt. She's a dazzler, and we're going to see her, and we will report back to you how our dinner party goes with her. So,
with your birth and death casserole.
Birth and death casserole. I'm bringing it in
I
hot.
want to know what that is.
Oh,
What's in it?
The rest of it. You don't want to know. Take to the bed, honey. All right, my chickens. See you next time. Thank you for joining us, my chickens. If you like this episode, please give us a 5-star rating, drop in a great review, and tag us at The Coop with Kit Hoover. As well, you can follow us on social media at The Coop with Kit Hoover for behind-the-scenes content and updates. We will see you next time in The Coop. And remember, as my mom Bug always says, life is not a dress rehearsal. Make it count. Today's episode was produced by me, Kit Hoover, and Harper McDonald. Our technical producer is Christian Brown, and today's episode was edited by Christian Brown. Business development by Casey Ladd, and a special thank you to all of our sponsors.